My name is Jim Pappas and I am on an adventure to find the ultimate cheesesteak. I have eaten over 800 different cheesesteaks on my journey, and I've learned that every Philadelphian has a cheesesteak story. Biting into a cheesesteak is a flashback to tailgating at a Birds game, the back of Mom's station wagon, or Dad's favorite spot. To some, a cheesesteak is a roll, meat, and cheese, but to me, a cheesesteak is passion. Every cheesesteak I eat gets graded on my 5-category 100-point scoring system. I've narrowed my list down to the top 16 cheesesteaks in the Philadelphia region. We are the city of brotherly love. Join me on the Philadelphia Cheesesteak Adventure as I answer the ultimate question: who has the best cheesesteak? Today we are back at the Monkey Club in Philadelphia between the neighborhoods of Kensington and Fishtown, and we're judging the Week 16 for the New Jersey and Delaware region. The New Jersey and Delaware region consists of counties near Philadelphia and a lot of great cheesesteaks in those areas. From the New Jersey and Delaware region, we have quite a diverse group. Meatheads, Donkey's Place, Zogies, Scalessa's, My Way, old school Italian kitchen. All of our cheesesteaks are graded on a 5-category 100-point scoring system. The 5 categories are the roll, the meat, the cheese, extras, and the overall experience of the cheesesteak. Today our judges are Chef Mark Twersky.
So it tells me it's going to have some better texture and better flavor.
He's the subject matter expert of the group. Diane "The Hammer" Farina.
I didn't at any point think I was eating a cheesesteak.
She's our smartest judge, but also our hardest grader. And rounding out the group is Amigo Dan Matassino, a regular contributor to Philadelphia Cheesesteak Adventure.
Really takes the mushrooms and the onions mixed throughout.
Adventure. Dan and I have eaten well over 100 cheesesteaks together, and he is our resident roll snob. The round of Sweet 16 in the New Jersey-Delaware region, Meatheads versus Donkey's Place.
Meatheads was founded on an idea and a passion. We were staunch cheesesteak lovers. We used to go to Philadelphia all the time. You start to realize that New Jersey really doesn't have that optimum type of cheesesteak aura. We just decided that we would come together and we would open up a cheesesteak place. Meatheads.
We're all a big bunch of foodies.
The meat that we use is ribeye. We slice it fresh every day. The bread we use is famous Amoroso roll.
You just can't use any bread for a cheesesteak.
You don't want no busters. So when you take a bite of a cheesesteak, it needs to hold together. With our cheesesteaks, they're big, they're meaty. It's a lot of cheese, it's a lot of topping. The onions, the mushrooms are marinated. Everything has to mesh well too. So the onions and the mushrooms are always on the grill first. You want to get some color on it, you want to get some grill marks. Put it together, and then the cheese, everything gooey and connected well, so every bite get a little bit of everything.
The bread and the meat. How can you go wrong?
I'm not nervous at all. If we win, awesome. If we don't, awesome. We were part of the game and we ain't going nowhere.
My grandfather started in 1943. He was an Olympic boxer, and they said he had a punch like a kick of a donkey, so they called it Donkey's Place. My dad was 3 when it opened. He worked here his whole life. It was awesome. We'd run around as kids. My mom still has her initials carved into the bar. When she met my dad, I took over about 6-7 years ago. Everyone has a great time. They feel like family when they're here. Well, a lot of people come for the cheesesteaks, so they're on a round poppy seed Kaiser roll. It's from Del Bono's. We're actually their oldest customer. It goes cheese, meat, ton of onions, and then more cheese on top. We use ribeye. We don't chop ours up. We put the whole sheet on, fold it, and cook it like that. I like it better. It gives you more texture. You can taste it better. We put our own seasoning on the onions. A pile of onions on top, and then you put the cheese on top of that, and the onions are so hot it just melts into them. People who don't like onions like our onions. It's the first time you come here and have a donkey, we'll ring the bell. Donkey Virgin. They're saying the best cheesesteaks in Philly's in Camden. I think we got it. Fingers crossed, we make it to the finals, I think we'll win it.
Meatheads.
From a cooking standpoint, right away I can see that sear on the meat and the mushrooms, the caramelization. So it tells me it's going to have some better texture and better flavor.
The roll is cut perfectly.
It is, isn't it?
So this is delicious. Strong seasoning. I get the texture of the mushrooms and the onions. I'm hearing kind of crunching under my teeth. The meat is delicate, tender, but not mushy in any way. The bread is supporting it. Good structure on the bread, good flavor. It's a simple roll, but it does the job.
A little bit of salt for me.
I wish it had more cheese. I don't have a lot of cheese on mine. I think if there was more cheese to it, it would taste less salty, just because I feel like it would just blend everything together a little bit more.
I'm not really getting a lot of it anywhere. The meat's got a good flavor to it, rolls holding up. They spent some good time on the grill together. They did a great job with it.
It's missing a component. The cheese, there's a little bit of salt, great flavor. They're doing a great job up there. They really care. Everything's really good about this cheesesteak except we're missing cheese. Donkey's Place from Camden. You can see the cheesesteak it's Donkey's way. You get the cheesesteak Donkey's way.
Yeah, it's something I've never seen before. Cheesesteak on a Kaiser roll.
You can see the onions just ribboned in with the meat. I mean, this looks like a delicious cheesesteak.
This is the heaviest Kaiser roll sandwich I've ever picked up and taken
It's
a bite.
pretty heavy. I like how the meat is in strips and ribbons. Nobody's really done that. And I'm normally a chopped meat, everything blended in a roll.
What I like is, I like that the onions are in with the cheese. So it's like a great mixed topping on top.
The Kaiser roll is definitely falling victim to the juiciness of the meat. The bottom is extremely soggy.
I think that normally when you get a hot sandwich on a Kaiser roll, you're gonna get that. The stuff pooping out the sides or whatever. But I love it.
And every bite is a good bite. Every bite you get cheese, onion, and meat.
They've been cooking them the same way, and it looks like the same grill from 1943. And it's a small grill. There's a pile of the onions just sitting there and just cooking in their own juice.
Both formidable versions. One a lot more unique than the other, but both really tasty, very good. And both had some well-executed components and some less so. The Meatheads cheesesteak was a great cheesesteak. From the start, I could see the caramelization right on the meat and the onions and mushrooms, and they did not disappoint. A little bit too salty and lacking on some cheese. Donkeys, first time with the Donkeys cheesesteak, unique sandwich. The meat was delicious and the cheese and the onions.
The Meatheads here, that's going back to maybe that classic cheesesteak, the way it's built. It's heavy, a lot of meat. They did a great job with those mushrooms and onions. There's some salt in that, a little bit too overpowering, and I really couldn't find any cheese. Then you get to Donkeys, and I understand that some people are going to tell you that that's not a classic cheesesteak or whatever, but you know what? It made the competition, and it's in the competition.
Meatheads is more of your classic hoagie roll, cheesesteak, and Donkeys is, more of a steak sandwich instead of a cheesesteak, but it actually, I think, eats like a cheesesteak still.
I'm gonna advance the one that, for me, is more of a cheesesteak, and that's Meatheads.
I strongly disagree with you. I think that they both taste and eat like cheesesteaks. I think that you're a little held up on the Kaiser roll just because it's round. I think that it could look like a specialty cheesesteak, a steak sandwich, if you will, but it's definitely a cheesesteak in my book, and I'm going to pick Donkeys.
What he did there, he did right on the money. And my vote actually goes to Donkeys.
They're both great cheesesteaks. Today, the Meatheads was a little dry, not much cheese. There was a little salt, as was pointed out. Whenever I post about Donkeys, I always have to apologize, because I don't consider it a traditional cheesesteak. But I love Donkeys. It's a great, great sandwich. And Donkeys moves on. Zogies versus Scalessa's My Way Old School Italian Kitchen.
Zogies is a manifestation of a dream that I had almost a decade ago. Backyard Walmart fryer, no money, no credit. I was going to have something unique that would be all over the nation. So I drove my bike and delivered throughout the hood until 5 a.m. every night, asking the people questions. How can I make it better? After a while of riding that bike and delivering, we had 100 people coming to our yards, and it was amazing. I'm going to say Zalo, Zayu Zoan. Put a Z on everything. We call that Zinglish. I don't care. You know what I mean? This is me. I'm going to be different. Here at Zogies, we don't have cheesesteaks, we have Z-steaks. Right there's a difference. A Zoc Des Monster, a Zadora, a Zodzilla, all these creations have people coming from all over the nation, and they smile with elation. Say, what makes it different from all the other steaks? Guess what? We got something called What the Cluck. No one else in the world has What the Cluck, because I invented it. So we sprinkle the What the Cluck on it, and we make that beef. We put a little bit of onions, a little bit of zeppers, and we make sure, we marinate it and make it all get cooked in evenly with the meat. And then what? This is the game changer. They say the roll makes a sub, makes a sandwich, make a hoagie, right? We decided to fry the roll. Deep fry roll, hot. Crispy. It can't be explained. You gotta taste it for yourself. If I'm in it to win it. We're confident we're gonna win because we different. We got the Zug out. We got the Zug. We got the Zug. Yeah, baby.
This Scalessa's opened 4 years ago, but originally I did sandwiches in College Square when I was 19 years old. So that was my place I started. I've been in the kitchen since I was 14 years old, making cheesesteaks. We have everything here. Homemade gnocchi. We do the best meatball you'll ever have. Fresh porchette we cook daily. Everything we do is all homemade here. So we've been making cheesesteaks since I was 17, 18 years old. And we do work hard at that. We give a lot of meat, all the sauteed onions and all the mushrooms. They're not just thrown together. We put a lot of effort into it. We do use a Dietz & Watson, best cheese they have. We use a fresh ribeye that we cut fresh every day. And we're a little different because we cut a lot of the fat out of it. Since I was 19, we've tried it all, and I do chop it. Finally chop it pretty good. I let it saute and cook on the grill with a little bit of butter is a key too. The mushrooms is just a nice little butter with a little bit of salt and pepper, but the onions we'll do down and do a little bit of maybe a little sugar and butter in it as well to create a little bit of a different flavor. So not too fancy because then it won't be the traditional cheesesteak from Philly. We use a Serpy's roll, which is a local bakery. That's key that it has a nice outside crustiness to it and the inside is a little airy. Because if it's too doughy, it's going to take away from the experience. If you're not consistent, you're done in this business. You're done. And we've been around since I've been 19. So that's a lot of years to be consistent and we're only better at it now. I'm pretty confident. You know, it does come down to where you're at and the day and the roll.
Zogies.
It's got a distinctive flavor to it. He's got something in here.
Tastes seafood-like. Is the roll fried?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
It's like a donut almost.
Sweet, it's got, you know, had some crispiness to it, but there's this doughiness that is like a donut. Now, there's a lot going on in this cheesesteak.
There is a lot going on with the green pepper.
It's a little bit greasy.
I'm seeing like bits of yellow in there that are not melted down. I don't know if it's cheddar cheese.
The meat itself, not a bad flavor. It's interesting.
I have no idea what I'm eating. This is a cheesesteak. It's a really good sandwich. I don't know if I'm feeling like a cheesesteak vibe energy from it.
Fried bread, it's tasty, good texture to it, but it's distracting. The meat has some spice to it. It's not that traditional cheesesteak in any way.
I feel like it's like a Southern Creole like cross of a cheesesteak.
I think what he's trying to do is very interesting.
But you go to Zogies, and it's an event. It's a carnival. He's out, he's entertaining the crowd. They're doing the Zogie dance. It's like an event cheesesteak. Like you go to a carnival and you go to the counter to get whatever event, you know, a hot dog on a stick or whatever. Yeah. Scalessa's My Way Old School Italian Kitchen.
Roll's a little soft on the bottom.
It's not toasted, it's a softer roll. Doesn't have that artisanal effect that you get from some of the bakeries that we've had up here, Karangi's, the Concha Hawkins. Feels a little more like a hot dog bun.
I think it has a good flavor to it. It's a heavy cheesesteak, and it's got some moisture to it.
The meat's incredibly tender. Kind of melts in your mouth. Smells sweet. I can smell the onions in there.
You know the roll's there, you can taste it. But you're right, it's definitely softer than other ones we've had.
I think it's a really good cheesesteak because the meat's really flavorful. You can taste the mushrooms and onions. I just wish it was on a different roll.
Both of these cheesesteaks had some good parts to it. I didn't think either one was a great cheesesteak. Felt the Scalessa's meat was a little too tender, almost on the verge of mushiness for me, and I didn't get enough texture from the bread or the mushrooms or onions inside. And the Zogies, I appreciate what the chef is doing there, trying to push the boundaries and do something different. The roll, the fried bread was super creative, but felt more like a halftime show as opposed to a contender in the Final Four.
The thing about Scalessa is I actually liked all of it except for one of the main components, sorry to say, you know, the bread. That roll just didn't do it for him. Zogies, he's working at it, and he's doing a good job at it, but that's not necessarily a cheesesteak. Even with just a flair.
Zogies has like 27 pieces of flair. I love Zogie and I love what he is doing. I think it's a lot of fun. I think that's a very fun sandwich. I didn't at any point think I was eating a cheesesteak. Because I thought that Scalessa's was good. The meat, the components of it, except that one major component, the roll, really missed the mark. I'm actually gonna pick Scalessa's.
I'm gonna go with Scalessa.
I'm also Scalessa on this one.
You pick Scalessa's, I pick Scalessa's. We have Donkey's Place going against Scalessa's My Way Old School Italian Kitchen.
Here's what I think. Scalessa's was a very good cheesesteak and Donkey's was a great sandwich.
Here we go.
Which one would I want to eat? I'd want to eat the Donkey's. The meat was delicious, the onions and the cheese were over the top, and that's what I want every time. So my vote goes to Donkey's.
Both of them. Great meat, you know, cheese, the whole thing and whatever. But I think my vote's coming down to the execution. I'd have to go with Donkey's Place.
I had issues with both of their rolls, but when it comes down to the meat and the cheese and the onions, I think they both really hit the mark for me. Donkey's did a better job, and their onions and cheese was delicious, and so I think I'm going to go ahead and put Donkey's through.
Well, I think you nailed it. You know, the roll was the problem with Scalessa's today. Donkey's Place nailed it today. That was just spot on great sandwich, great cheesesteak. It won all 3 categories. It was best sandwich, best cheesesteak, best steak sandwich. The winner of the New Jersey and Delaware region for the Philadelphia Cheesesteak Adventure Cheesesteak Madness is Donkey's Place. Donkey's Place will go on to represent the New Jersey and Delaware region. In the final 4, their next match will be against Phil and Jim's.